Hello, and thank you for exploring Lakehead International's videos. My name is Jordan, and I am the International New and Social Media Officer. I'm also the host of the Lakehead International Live series, a fun and informative way for you to connect with current international students, professors, and ask questions about admissions and everything Lakehead. You are about to watch a recording from one of our previous live sessions. If any questions arise throughout the video, please do not hesitate to comment below. If you would like to check out some of our upcoming live sessions, please head over to our website at lakeheadu.ca/international-live. Let's begin. I'll welcome and introduce the school and department highlights. First, I'll pass it over to Hector, who's going to chat about health sciences.
Excellent. Thank you, Jordan. Yes, our Department of Health Sciences provides the students with an understanding of the complexities of public health and health sciences through a focus on individuals, communities, and organizations. Our graduate programs will ensure that students emerge as professionals and health researchers who will contribute to the enhancement of the overall health of Canadians. Our Department of Health and Sciences also offers an undergraduate minor in aging and health to all students on campus that allows them to understand the needs and issues, or to understand the needs and issues facing older adults aging throughout the course of life, the impact of aging on populations and society, as well as the impact of society on people as they age. So some of the degrees that we offer, as Jordan briefly mentioned, it's a Master of Public Health. We have a Master of Health Sciences with specializations in epidemiology, indigenous and northern health, gerontology, social, ecological systems, sustainability, and health. We have a PhD in health sciences, and as I just mentioned, we also offer a minor for an undergraduate minor in aging and health as well.
And something to note here is for any of our students that are at Lakehead and not just necessarily studying within the Department of Health Sciences are eligible potentially to take that minor in aging and health. And this is, of course, a relevant topic. Many of populations around the world are aging faster than they are growing or booming in the youth. And so this is becoming a very relevant topic for many people. And so for students that might not necessarily see a traditional connection between aging and health and their program that they're interested in, I encourage you to explore this option further, because we know, we've seen the data essentially that will say that more jobs within this field are going to be opening up, and that's exactly why we continue to offer this and we continue to evolve that exact minor. So moving forward, I'll pass it over to Leanne. Leanne's going to dive into kinesiology, and she's going to discuss all of their offerings, their learning outcomes, learning opportunities, career outcomes, all that sort of stuff. I don't want to take away her presentation, so I'll just pass it over to her now.
You can jump in anytime you want. So in the School of Kinesiology, we study human movement. And with that, we also consider, with movement, physical activity, the relationship to health, well-being, and performance. Our multidisciplinary kinesiology programs explore how the body moves by studying courses such as anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, ergonomics. We look at musculoskeletal injuries, adapted physical activity. We also consider nutrition and how nutrition impacts your movement, motor development and control, and basic health, wellness, and fitness. We'll also look at the psychological, sociological, and cultural factors that influence physical activity in all populations, from birth through to older age. So we look at that older adult population as well. The breadth of our study will allow you to work collaboratively as part of an interprofessional team to deliver the best quality of care in many settings, healthcare settings and community settings. We have a good combination of in-class as well as hands-on courses. So we have a lot of lab components, and those labs sometimes include community situations. So you're not only working with your peers in a classroom lab, you also might go out into the community and interact with the real population and see how the theory that you're learning applies in a true setting before you get out to practice. In Ontario, you can become a registered kinesiologist. That means it's also a regulated health profession. So to do that, our program prepares you well. You have to challenge an exam through the College of Kinesiologists. If you do that after you graduate, then you can go out and call yourself a kinesiologist and work anywhere in Ontario. We have several degrees within our program. We have the Honors Bachelor of Kinesiology. We have an Honors Bachelor of Kinesiology with Co-op, and we'll talk a little bit more about that soon. We have an Honors Bachelor of Kinesiology with Bachelor of Education, so 2 degrees in 6 years you can earn. And then we have some graduate programs, a Master of Science in Kin, a Master of Science in Kin with a specialization in gerontology, and we have a graduate diploma in professional kinesiology. As I mentioned, we have a co-op program. We're one of very few in Canada that actually has a formalized co-op program. And with this, to graduate with a co-op designation, you have to complete a minimum of four-month paid work terms. It gives you a great edge. It takes you an extra year to complete your degree, but then you're graduating with that 1 year of experience that many employers are looking for. A little bit more about our labs. You'll gain some hands-on assessment experience right from day one. So there's a first year class where your first year, first term, you're doing labs with your peers, learning how to complete assessments, apply your observation skills, and then use those assessment results and be able to apply some, prescribe some courses or prescribe some exercises for certain populations.
Another question I had, and to add on to that is, I know that graduates of the undergraduate kinesiology programs are involved in sort of a capstone course or project in their 4th year. Would you dive into that a bit? Because I know that students in the 4th year that my friends have been a part of it, but also just in general, the amazing reviews that I've heard of that project and how students can get involved, and they really get to use all of the knowledge they've picked up from their first year courses all the way through all 4 years, and then they get to apply that in this this theoretical project.
In your fourth year research project you're referring to, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, all of our students, in order to earn an honors Bachelor of Kinesiology, our students are required to complete a research project in 4th year. So in 3rd year, you're doing your stats and your research processes course to prepare you for that 4th year project. It can be an individual project, or it can be a small group project where you search out the topic, you have to come up with a question, you're looking through the literature, finding a gap, and then you're creating a project with the support and guidance of a supervisor. And you go through all the steps to expose you to a research experience. So doing your ethics proposal, preparing your whole project, and then you go out and recruit participants and do your full study. And then at the end of the year, our students all get together and you do a public presentation. And you're there with your poster and you're summarizing all of your findings to not only your peers and your professors, but anyone else who happens to come through campus.
Certainly, and then that also speaks to sort of all the different areas of skills that you will be able to pick up with that project itself. As you mentioned, you have to walk through the ethics board approval and making sure that the project is ethically sound. And so there's all that process, which you'll see in almost any research field or any research career job. And then actually reaching out and interacting with active participants in the research. And that might speak to more of the customer service side that is built into kinesiology. And then, as you mentioned in that presentation side, the public speaking that you have to practice, which then all of these things add up to a well-rounded experience within your degree, but also entering that next stage in your journey, whether it be the career field, whether it be continuing your education. You can glean on all of those skills that you've picked up throughout your undergrad to help you to take advantage of them, but also stand out in a pool of applicants for a job or a future program.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the research project, some people will say, I don't know that I really like research, but this is a really great way to introduce you, one, to find out maybe you like it a lot more than you thought, and you might it might guide you down a research career. But also, even if you don't want to be a researcher yourself, working in any kind of healthcare profession, you have to, it's really encouraged. You should do evidence-based practice. In order to have evidence-based practice, you have to understand the research and be able to apply it appropriately and make sure you're on top of the latest findings. So this helps you with that as well. So it's really beneficial.
Certainly. And this won't be the last we talk about kinesiology. We're going to come back to it, and we're going to dive into the unique learning opportunities, which is more specifically the cooperative education opportunity. Next, though, we'll pass it over to the School of Nursing, represented by Wendy, and she'll chat about their offerings and unique learning opportunities, degrees, all that sort of stuff. So I'll pass it over to her now.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to, before I start telling you a little bit about the program, is just to let you know that I myself was an international student, not specifically at Lakehead, but hopefully I can give you a little bit more insight into being an international student, having lived that experience. I have lived in this community for over 30 years, however, and in terms of a university environment, it's a nice small university, smaller classes, and you get phenomenal experience just because of the geography, the resources that are available, and it's a really, really rich nursing experience that you can acquire in coming through Lakehead University. So nursing is one of the health sciences fields, and we focus a lot on relational practice, meaning that how do we relate to our patients? We sometimes call them clients. How do we relate to each other as nurses and within the healthcare team? So we have a really strong focus on interprofessional education and interprofessional collaboration. So we interact on a day-to-day basis when you are in the clinical setting with other health professionals, so physicians, and those are specialists. So it could be, depending on the field you're in, cardiologists, anesthetists, emerged doctors, internal medicine, oncologists, etc. But you're also interacting with social work, physiotherapy, respiratory therapists. And so you get a very, very broad understanding of the healthcare field. In terms of nursing specifically, we have a few different streams of programs. We have, for a BSCN program, we have a 3-year compressed program and a 4-year collaborative program. The biggest differences are the 3-year compressed between year 2 and the end of the program. There is no real break in your schedule. You complete all your second-year courses in the regular semesters, the fall and winter, doing an extra half credit in the fall and an extra half credit in the winter. And then from May to August, you complete the remainder of your courses for 3rd year. And then you can go right into 4th year in August, finishing in January of the following year. So it's just under 3 years if you do it that way. Some students choose to take the August off between year 3 and year 4, and then go into year 4 in September, but they finish at the end of March. So it's a couple of months difference. So it really depends on people's lives, people's priorities, where their families are situated, and what their personal needs are. The 3-year compressed, however, you do have to demonstrate that you can keep up with the requirements of maintaining a 70% average over each year to be able to stay in the compressed program. The collaborative program is a little less stressful because you're not doing those extra half credits, and you're not doing your compressed 4 courses between May and August. But it works very well for some students. For example, this year we have 96 students registered in the compressed stream. Our class sizes are overall much smaller than some of the larger universities. We tend to have in each year approximately 200 to 220 students. And what that does is it allows more ready access to professors, so that if you have any questions, any concerns, and particularly when you're an international student, there's slight differences in expectations. And so we encourage you to come and chat with us just to make sure that you're on the right track. And even also for academic advising in terms of thinking about placements. And the other programs that we have, when you complete your nursing, we have a master's in nursing. Right now it's a collaboration with Queen's University in Southern Ontario, but as of 2021 we will be administering our own master's in nursing program. Nurses can also take the master's in public health with a course-based approach, completing a gerontology certificate, or going on to the nurse practitioner program. The nurse practitioner program is typically a one-year program and is run in collaboration with 8 other universities in the province. And that allows you to become more of a primary healthcare provider with an expanded scope. As of last year, we now can also complete a PhD in health sciences at Lakehead University, which is an excellent opportunity for nursing students. We do currently also run some Indigenous programs, Indigenous education programs, because our university and our health faculties focus a lot on rural and remote healthcare, as well as Indigenous healthcare, focusing on social determinants of health and how can we address health promotion and health and disease prevention, more importantly from an individualized perspective. And this is across the lifespan, birth to death. So all of our courses will cover, for example, the childbearing decline, newborn infants, pediatrics, mental health across the lifespan. We cover up, you can have placements, for example, in med-surg, medical floors, the operating room, the emergency room, ICU, and a number of community different placements that can help prepare you once you complete the BSCN. So the BSCN gives you a Bachelor of Science in degree in nursing, and on completion of the 3-year compressed or 4-year program, you then have to write the licensing exam, which is called the NCLEX exam, which is an exam that was originally begun in the US. Canada changed to the NCLEX exam in 2015, and what that does, it allows more portability. So you can now go across provinces without having to write exams in every different province. Nurses have opportunities to go on to other careers once they completed their nursing. Some of our students have gone on to medicine, some can go into law, or you can just continue on along the nursing trajectory, as mentioned, doing the nurse practitioner program, or completing a PhD and becoming an educator. And I think that was the primary. So yeah.
For sure. I mean, I know that there's a few notes, and some of the special things that we like to talk about are the fact that Lakehead is also partnered with many community organizations and also local health authorities. So right next door to our Thunder Bay campus is also the regional hospital. So it actually spans and covers the vast Northwestern Ontario area, and they have many, many offerings at that hospital. And our students are involved in placements there. And as Wendy mentioned, they're involved in many departments. So whether you're in the emergency room, in ICU, pediatrics, a surgery floor, there's really a lot of flexibility in that placement opportunity, and really speaks to how you get a well-versed experience, and also when you're prepared to enter the career field, and when you want to write your certification exam and then hopefully get a job as a nurse, you will have a better understanding through those experiences exactly maybe what floor or what area you want a job in. So nursing is a well-rounded job, of course, but then there's also specialities within it that will speak to your passion. So if you really want to be a nurse, but you also absolutely enjoy working with young children, youth, all that sort of stuff, you might want to be a nurse within the pediatric center. That's just one example. So Wendy, could you chat a bit about placements being in first year and sort of where we see students go and what the reviews have been? I know I have many friends in nursing or have graduated in nursing, and I hear their firsthand experience about how amazing and the skills that they gain on these placements. But I know that you could probably speak better than I can for sure.
For sure, Jordan. So one of the advantages with our program, because we do have smaller class sizes and of our location, that we don't have a lot of competition from other schools trying to secure placements for students, we're able to start our hands-on experiences, so our clinical experiences in year one, and that's usually in the winter semester. And that begins usually just to give students an idea about taking a history, chatting with people. Some people have never been exposed to working with the elderly. It just gives you an opportunity to practice basic skills. So vital signs, helping a patient eat, helping bath a patient, and just, again, becoming familiar with health issues, what medications are being introduced, etc. In year two, you typically will complete a medical and or surgical placement, and that's usually, as Jordan said, either at the acute care hospital, or we have an interim sort of chronic care hospital, which is somewhere between the acute care hospital and long-term care facilities. Both organizations are quite large with very diverse opportunities within both of them. In year three, you have the opportunity, and this is where we really have that advantage in a non-COVID year, of course. We are able to have our students experience pediatric or obstetrical nursing, obstetrical being the labor and delivery unit, postpartum caring for moms and babies, and intensive care nursery, and pediatric outpatients. We also have a mental health clinical placement and a complex adult placement. Year four, you complete 3 preceptorship placements, one of which is in a community type setting, not necessarily out in the community, but a community program that provides interactions between the acute care settings and the community setting. And we also have 2 options for you to self-select where you would like to acquire some more experience before you graduate. One of those placements, we've had students go overseas. Some students have gone to New Zealand. We had students go to Finland. Some students in the past have gone to the UK. Really depends on what arrangements the international department can make with the preferred or the requested place of a placement, and the language barriers, and also the connectedness of the program, but there are those opportunities. We also have opportunities for very rural nursing in a program, and that's very, very valuable experience that you can also acquire within the nursing program at LU, which is very, I'd say, amazing compared to some of the larger programs where there's so much more competition to have students, and not just nursing students. It's often complicated in larger centers by having residents for medical students, respiratory therapy students, physiotherapy students. We don't have the same level of competition, and so you get a lot more hands-on and front and center experience working in different settings with patients and interprofessionally.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for covering the School of Nursing in such great depth, and chatting about the experiences that our nursing students are able to glean on, and of course, and then take those skills and then have a well-rounded degree when they're ready to move on to that next stage. So I know I've chatted about it already, but the next stage is either moving into the next academic journey, or they already move right into the career field. So next I'm going to pass it over to the Department of Psychology, where we have Deborah and Jen, who are going to chat more about their offerings, and then they'll also have another unique learning opportunity slide to chat about as well. So I'll pass it to them now.
Hi, so I'll begin. Again, my name is Jennifer. I'm the program coordinator. Psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior, so focusing on understanding and influencing thoughts, feelings, emotions, behavior of individuals. So studying questions like, how do we perceive, how do we think, learn, what motivates us, what abnormalities can occur, and what social, environmental, biological factors influence us. So at the undergraduate level, we offer 3- and 4-year programs in both arts and science, as well as a specialized honors program for students wishing to pursue graduate studies, and that includes an honors thesis. We offer double majors with gender studies and philosophy, and also concurrent education programs. So we offer quite a variety of programs that will fit students' academic and career goals. Our degree also pairs very nicely with many available minors at the university, as well as concentrations such as the concentration in human nature. So you can also pair additional credentials with our degree. But I would like to note that our psychology degree is currently only available at the Thunder Bay campus. So it's not available at the Aurelia campus. Currently, you can only get the minor in psychology at Aurelia. So our undergraduate program, the requirements for the arts and science stream, the psychology courses are the same. That's one of the biggest questions that we get about our undergraduate program. It's only the elective choices that differ. So students are encouraged to pick an art or a science degree based on their elective interests. So however, you know, they will be successful, right? So choosing your electives based on your interest in science or non-science courses. And admission to post-degree programs accept either the arts or the science programs. So if you're interested in law or medical school, occupational therapy, either the art or the science program can get you there. Our curriculum offers a breadth of training and learning, and that's what sets our psychology program apart here at Lakehead. We've just undergone a huge curriculum overhaul, and we've changed a number of our program requirements so that we can offer more of that breadth of training. So it is a broad discipline, and we ensure our students get exposed to each of the areas. So we require you to take a course in each of the areas of psychology in the second year of your program so that you get a well-rounded education. So you'd be focusing on biological, cognitive, social, developmental, and individual psychology, as well as a research and a stats course, so that you get appropriate training starting right from second year. All our courses are half-credit courses, and we've created more labs and more tutorials now with our program. And so that's meant to deepen students' learning, provide those exceptional and experiential learning opportunities, and provide additional student supports. We've also introduced some new courses that we're very excited about, such as Foundations of Mental Health, Indigenous Mental Health, Adult Development, perception courses, and we have advanced seminars in psychology and psychotherapy for students as well. Our new capstone course, the advanced seminar, is offered in fourth year, so it's a great opportunity for students who maybe don't want to do a thesis, but would like that opportunity for advanced scientific reasoning and critical thinking. So it's a great alternative to our thesis course as well. So our students at the undergraduate level graduate ready for many career paths in various areas. As well, our specialized program sets them up nicely to apply to our graduate programs, which I'll pass it over to Dr. Scharf in a bit to speak about. I just wanted to highlight that our department is small enough for students to get to know their professors and instructors, and the class sizes, you know, are really manageable. And in upper year courses, you know, they can be quite intimate classes, which provides a really great opportunity for students to have that sort of experiential learning in a small class. And there's seminar type classrooms. It really is a really dynamic and interactive small setting. And our department has some unique opportunities for student supports. We have a unique mentorship program run by our student-led group. And so you can receive mentorship from senior undergraduate and graduate students. So you can have a mentor from the master's or PhD program, as well as a senior undergraduate student. And we've received some really positive feedback about that. Our department also offers in-department advising. Not all departments do that. I think that's sort of unique to our faculty in general. And so we follow our students very carefully and provide a lot of advising and support and really work to help our students be successful. And that's sort of an overview of our undergraduate program. And I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Scharf now, who can expand a little more and talk about our graduate programs.
Thanks, Jen. I'm not sure if you guys can see me or hear me. I hope so.
Yeah.
All good, excellent. Okay, so I'm Dr. Deb Scharf. I am an assistant professor of psychology at Lakehead. And I think I'll begin by just following up on some of the neat things about our undergraduate program, and then I'll talk about our graduate training. So one of the things that's really special about having a smaller psychology program is that your undergraduate courses are actually taught at least in part by core faculty members. So sometimes at larger institutions, there are folks hired from the outside to teach courses. We have a small little group, and so while you're here with us, you have the opportunity to talk with psychologists who are active researchers, who have an active program of research or on the cutting edge of their fields, investigating new reasons and mechanisms behind how people behave the way they do, how relationships are formed, how people cope with stress, how we provide care and develop treatments for people with different kinds of psychological conditions. These are your professors. These are the people that are going to be designing courses for you and working with you and supporting you through your own coursework and assignments. So that's a really special thing about our program. We also have a really nice mix of faculty. So we have faculty with diverse interests, from community psychology, so understanding how communities affect the way we feel and think and behave, to clinical psychologists whose work is helping rehabilitate people who, or help people get well when they've had different kinds of mental health concerns like stress, anxiety, eating disorders, brain injury, all of these kinds of things. And then other folks who are working on issues related to hormones in the brain, feminist psychology, cognitive psychology, and neurophysiology, so how neurons fire and the brain sort of mechanics work. So we've got a really nice mix of folks with different interests, all of whom you can work with while you're here. And in fact, I know Jennifer had mentioned we have a new course. It's called Foundations of Mental Health. And actually, I teach that course. So if you come to Lakehead and as an undergraduate, you'll probably see me in that course. And that course is kind of exciting because traditionally, many universities have taught the idea of mental health and mental wellness from sort of an illness perspective. What does it mean, when somebody is unwell? And there's been sort of a lot of focus on thinking about like human suffering as opposed to recovery and human wellness. So what we've done is we've sort of reworked this course, and now we offer sort of a historical and medical and cultural perspective on what does it mean to have good psychological health. And that's really our foundation, and I think is a good example of how our faculty is forward thinking and ready to kind of keep current with trends and give you sort of a modern and dynamic experience of psychology while you're here. So we hope you come and join us and learn with us and help us move the field along. And if you do that, if you complete your 4-year undergraduate in psychology, you can apply to our master's program, either in clinical psychology or in psychological science. Both of these programs are competitive. That's a good thing to know. So you've got to keep your grades up and work really hard. But once you're there, it's a really exciting opportunity to work closely with faculty and a small group of other really accomplished graduate students, where we do research and have some very small courses and thesis projects in all the areas that I already mentioned. So if we have a faculty person here at Lakehead doing that research, you can come and do your master's in that area. And in Ontario, we also are a registered health profession psychologist. So you can become a registered what's called psychological associate with your master's, and then have several years of supervised practice after that. But we recommend and really encourage students who apply to the program to stay with us and to complete the PhD, which we offer here. And in fact, if you do your master's with us and your work goes well, you are fast-tracked through your application to the PhD. We have a quick way for you to do that and stay with us and have all the opportunity to practice at the top of your field here in Northern Ontario or anywhere else in Ontario that you'd like to go. And for that matter, it can be anywhere else in Canada or the United States, because your PhD degree here makes you eligible to apply for internships. So that's sort of the final level of training in psychology anywhere in North America. So it's a foot in the door, and we can take you great places, and we hope you come join us to do that. How did we do, Jordan? What are we missing?
Oh, I think both you and Jen covered the undergraduate and graduate level perfectly, and you chatted about sort of where our professors range from. I know that that's something that we don't always chat about, sort of all the expertise each of our professors bring from. So thank you so much for covering that. I know we have another slide for psychology to chat about research, but I'll pass it over to Hector, who's going to chat about our School of Social Work, and then we'll go back into unique learning opportunities.
Excellent. Thank you, Jordan. Sorry. So we have a 4-year honors Bachelor of Social Work that will help students gain the skills that they need to facilitate positive change in their lives, whether it is working to develop social policy, assisting marginalized groups, providing counseling to individuals and families, or promoting social change. Our School of Social Work delivers a generalist 4-year undergraduate degree, where during the first 2 years, students will get the opportunity to take a lot of different subjects that really resonate with them, as well as learning a holistic view of the social work practice. The last 2 years of the program will teach students how to counsel individuals, how to run groups, and the opportunity to get out into the community and apply their skills to real world situations. Our courses blend, as I was mentioning, in-class learning with field placements, and these placements can be in settings including correctional facilities, psychiatric hospitals, schools, child welfare agencies, and are designed to develop critical thinking, effective communication skills, problem solving, and interdisciplinary skills. Our program is fully accredited by the Canadian Association for Social Work Education, and will provide our students with a challenging and meaningful experience applicable to a range of professional practices. Just to summarize, we do have a 4-year honors Bachelor of Social Work that is offered with a concentration in gerontology, Indigenous learning, or women's studies. And we also have a 1-year honors Bachelor of Social Work open for students who have already completed a bachelor's degree in an area other than social work, but want to gain some related practical experience and want to get into the social work field. We have a Master's of Social Work and a Master of Social Work with specialization in, like I mentioned, in gerontology, and as well as specialization in women's studies. As a graduate from the Honors Bachelor of Social Work, you can expect to, or you can specialize or become a family counselor, crisis intervention worker, case manager, addictions counselor, probation parole officer. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to experience or venture into different areas of social policy development and yeah, sorry, I forgot the word that I was looking for, but.
No, I think you covered it quite perfectly, Hector, in chatting about sort of what their passions are within the School of Social Work. So what our faculty and our staff bring both in their experiences as well as their practice of research and all the fields that they get to. And then of course, the note there is that also where the students get to actually go into placement settings. And you mentioned a wide range of those placement settings. So it really sets up our students once again within the health and behavioral sciences field to be prepared and have really good understandings and concepts of where and how they might apply their education. So next I'm going to pass it over to Leanne. She's going to chat briefly about unique learning opportunities within the Kinesiology Co-op.
Hi. Yeah, I spoke a little bit about co-op earlier, but I just wanted to get in a little bit more information. So on the slide now, you see one of our students who is a co-op student. So co-op, you do paid 4-month work term, so you're employed by an employer and you're gaining experience that's relevant to the field. Kinesiology is a broad field, so you can get co-op experiences that are broad as well. This particular student worked at one of our local hospitals in a rehab clinic, working with older adults who were kind of in transitional care. So she worked along with other physiotherapists and occupational therapists. Also, there were nurses, and she helped with rehab of older adults. So that's one opportunity. And then, do you have the other slide, Jordan?
Yes.
And then we had another student who did a completely different co-op, had a completely different co-op experience. She worked at a company called Richardson International, which transports grains from the north. So she's inside the facility where trains and things come in and dump their loads and put them onto a big ship to send it away. And she was an ergonomist. She did physical demands analysis assessments, and she also arranged some workplace wellness programs for the employees there. So very different experiences. And additional student that we don't have a photo of her, but she's one of our international students and currently in a co-op work term as a sleep technologist. So she's actually earning a certification through her work terms, which will give her another employment opportunity when she graduates, even beyond kinesiology. So it's really exciting, the opportunities that you can get through co-op.
Certainly, and to note that is that the three people mentioned is not an exhaustive list or idea even of where you can take the kinesiology co-op and degree at that. And of course, I know we'll have future sessions about kinesiology where we dive into it. But for anyone who is interested in learning about this unique learning opportunity, I encourage you to head over to lakeheadu.ca/co-op, so COOP, and you can learn all about this opportunity. So next I'm going to pass it over to our team within psychology, Deborah and Jen, and they're going to chat about psychology research participation and more specifically the policy that the department has for undergraduate students being involved in and all that.
Hi, thank you again. I'll start and then Dr. Scherf can add more detail. I'll give just sort of a general overview of some of our opportunities. So we definitely encourage our students to get involved in research, and we offer a number of ways to do so. Right from first year, you have the opportunity to gain experience by participating in a broad range of research as a participant for extra credit in your intro course, and that gives you that hands-on experience right from first year. We also offer a number of courses that give students opportunities, an independent research opportunity course, which students usually take in their third year, and you get to gain course credit to work on an independent research project with guidance from an individual faculty member and based on your area of research interests. So you would pair with a faculty member whose research area aligns with your interests and work on an independent project with them. For our honors students, we offer both the honors thesis or the advanced seminar capstone course that I had spoke about earlier. The new advanced seminar course gives you research experience without doing the thesis. Not everyone wants to, and it's not required of all of our programs. But this course will help you build those advanced scientific reasoning and problem solving, communication skills, and you get to focus again on your choice of a particular subject matter within psychology. So all of our opportunities are geared towards, highlighting your own interests. Our upper year students can also gain research experience by volunteering in one of our faculty's research labs. So because we have the graduate program, our faculty and our graduate students are often looking for volunteers in their labs, and it's a great way to gain experience and references and make those connections within the department as well. So we're often looking for student volunteers, and part of my role is to communicate with our undergraduate students about those opportunities. So our department lets me know when we're looking for someone, and then I will let our undergrads know that there's opportunity there. So we try to stay connected with our students and provide them as many opportunities as we can. And then I will pass it off to Dr. Sharp, who can probably speak in better detail.
Sorry, I'll jump in here.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to note that, of course, with psychology, you covered really nicely the undergraduate field and how always the faculty is trying to interact with undergraduate students and provide those opportunities. And I know that the research is more closely reflected in the graduate field. For any of our viewers that are interested in learning about that, I encourage you to head over to our website, but we'll have to move on to the next part of the presentation, unfortunately. And I'm sure that if you wanted to connect and learn more at the graduate level, we can facilitate that connection between Lakehead International and the Department of Psychology. I do apologize, but I'll move forward.
No worries. Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, awesome. So next, I'll briefly chat about career opportunities, though this is not by any means an exhaustive list of career opportunities. It kind of is a high-level list of where we've seen our graduates of the Faculty of Health and Behavioral Sciences go. And so I won't read them off, but it gives you a good idea of all the different career paths that are out there. And again, that's not necessarily the exact path you might take, as you might want to continue your educational journey. So next I'll pass it over to Hector, who's going to chat about one of our outstanding alumni from this faculty.
Right. So yeah, so Payemi was one of our international students originally from Nigeria and who graduated from an honors Bachelor of Science in Nursing. She's currently a registered nurse at the Thunder Bay Regional Health Science Center. And in a recent, in a recent testimonial, she mentioned that one of the things that she valued the most about her program was a clinical placement that allowed her to work in different parts of the hospital before graduating. She mentioned that it was a good experience having these placements directly on the floor with experienced nurses, and that helped her build relationships and trust in herself and the program and her abilities to be a nurse. So she even mentioned that now she still works with some of her professors, and that was very reassuring to know the fact that they were still working in the field and were actively up to date with all the different nuance of the profession.
Awesome. Thank you so much for covering that, Hector. To our audience, that does conclude our presentation on the Faculty of Health and Behavioral Sciences. Thank you for checking out today's video. If you have any questions, you can always comment below. Stay connected and follow us on our social media channels to stay informed about upcoming webinars and get an insider sneak peek of Lakehead University. See you next time.